Hey everybody, welcome to Quad Pod Sports. We're bringing our thoughts on the latest games and sports news around the sports world, brought to you by the Sideline Sports Network. We're going to talk about the Week 11 games, a lot of crazy games, a lot of crazy news. You know, coaches being fired already, coaches rumored to be getting fired here maybe in a couple weeks. And of course, a lot of other news we'll talk about. And of course, we'll talk about our Week 12 predictions. A lot of NBA news happening as well. We'll cover all that. Talk about the hot and not list this week. And of course, the bias bubbles and crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. We'll hop right into our Week 11 games. I know you want to talk about this one, the Thursday night game.
First one of the
Patriots versus the Falcons.
This one was both knew. We both knew what was going to happen.
Falcons. We both knew the Patriots going to whoop them Falcons this week.
It's like the universe knew what was going to happen because of the eclipse that happened and everything. You know, just it lasted 3 hours and 28 minutes at the peak, and then also just we won by 25 points, and that was our comeback. So I just thought that was pretty cool as well. But New England went out there, did their damn thing. You know, I'm super happy about this. Like,
blanked them 25-0. Didn't allow a single point.
The defense was looking amazing, man, amazing. So I'm super proud of everything that's going on. Patriots are 7-4, rolling. And
yeah,
third.
You guys are like third in the AFC right now. You're number one in your division. You right where you need to be. And if anybody follows us on Twitter, went out and put a poll up asking if the Patriots are real contenders this year, because it's looking like you guys are a solid team all around right now.
They are all around. They're looking really good, and that's what's the best thing about it is it's not necessarily like a fluky thing here. Like, the team has been getting gradually better every single week in every aspect of the game, being a better, more cohesive team, and I'm loving it, man. The offense is starting to find its footing. Defense is playing great. Like, let's just keep it rolling here, But
yeah,
on the other side of it, Atlanta, I don't know what the hell they're doing, man. They played three different quarterbacks. I was watching this game, all right, and then at one point, Matt Ryan had like what 3 or 4 picks, something like that. He had I think
he had 2 picks.
He had 2
and
picks.
153 yards. Yeah,
and then they had Rosen come in. And Rosen threw a pick. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they had their third string quarterback come in, and his first pass was a pick.
Franks.
It was ridiculous. I'm watching this, so I'm like, oh my God. Atlanta wants this game to just be over. They just want it to be over, But I was very happy about the Patriots' performance there, man.
They're just like, let it end.
Let it end, please.
But yeah, I mean, you guys look great. Mac Jones, 22 of 26, 207 yards, a touchdown. He did throw a pick. But that's all right.
But
that's all right. You guys still blanked him.
Right.
Exactly. Kendrick Bourne, 42 yards. Nelson Aguilar got a touchdown, 40 yards.
Hell yeah.
He's been pretty silent all year. I've been hearing about like Kendrick Bourne and Myers and Hunter Henry, but I haven't really been hearing much about Nelson Aguilar over there on the Patriots.
What he needs to do, whenever we need him, he comes through like times like this here. He hasn't been like the standout wide receiver or anything like that, but he's been okay. So, but nothing but a contribution to the team so far this year.
Hey, I mean, as long as it helps, he's not like dragging an aspect down,
Right.
But yeah, we both picked the Patriots on this one, man.
Yep.
I didn't ask you as of yet what our records were, but I figured we would get to that towards the end here.
I'll let you know
of our prediction. But we both picked the Patriots on that one. Rolling into Sunday games, Colts and the Bills. I told you. I fucking told you. I had a feeling I should have picked these damn Colts.
You did.
But you convinced me. I was like, I'll go with these Bills. But I knew it.
I was very wrong.
I knew the Colts were going to win, but I didn't expect Jonathan Taylor to just be a madman out here getting 5 touchdowns. 185 yards.
How do you have 5 touchdowns in one game? Like, I played against him in fantasy this week, just to add that in there. He had 73 points on the other team, and I still won. But this dude had 73 points for the other guy on my fantasy football. And it's just outrageous.
That's outrageous.
I was like, oh my God, stop, please.
I mean, Jack Doyle, the receiving, they didn't have much in the receiving. They didn't have to do much.
Right.
I mean, Carson Wentz didn't even have to do much. He only had 106 yards and a touchdown.
He really did it.
Who he threw to Jonathan Taylor. But, I mean, yeah, Colts, they can kill you any which way. They have a running attack, which can kill you with Jonathan Taylor, and then Wentz can sling it, too.
Right.
You see that Houdini play that he had?
Mm-hmm.
He looked like the one back when he played against Washington, whenever he slipped underneath the line, bro. I don't know how he does it. It's Houdini.
He's just trying to finish a play, and that's what ends up getting him hurt. But when it works,
because
it looks
he's reckless.
cool.
We talk about it all the time. He's reckless.
Right, he's reckless as shit.
But man, it seems like as soon as you start putting pressure on Josh Allen, things fall apart. Like he's not good. Like getting pressure put on him. And it's not like big moments pressure, but like the actual defensive line and then blitzing putting pressure on him is disrupting the game.
Might be a sign of like that's how you stop Josh Allen. You know, like right now he just doesn't have an answer for it.
Derek Carr.
Right.
We'll talk about that, but as soon as you start putting pressure on Derek Carr, he folds. Like it's as simple as that. And it seems like that's the way teams can start beating these Bills right now, which is not good at all.
It's really not. It's great for me, but it's not good for
Buffalo. Great for you and Patriots fans. But I mean, Josh Allen, he only had 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Mitchell Trubisky came in and got 19 yards and a pick as well. That Brady 51 yards. Knox, their tight end, had 80 yards, no touchdown. But yeah, Bills. They dropped like 2 in a row now. They're just not looking good.
Not looking good. They're still 6-4.
6-4.
But they're not looking good right now. They gotta switch something up.
Oh no, they beat the Jets the last week. They lost to the Jaguars the week before that. Damn. But yeah, I knew I should have picked them Colts. But we both picked the Bills on that one. Ravens and the Bears. You know, Lamar Jackson was sick all week, not even COVID. He was just sick. He went out pre-game. He's like, I think I could try to do it. And then nope, he got pulled. He said, I can't do it. And he looked weak. There was a video of him walking out. He just didn't look himself.
Right.
I mean, Huntley came in and got the job done against Andy Dalton-led Bears, 16-13.
I mean, it is what it is. Like you said, he ended up coming in and getting the job done. The Ravens still ended up winning, keeping a nice position there in the AFC race for first place, realistically.
They came back and won, yeah.
Came back and won the game, so respect to them, respect to Harbaugh for getting that done, and Huntley for leading the team to victory there. Didn't Justin Fields play?
Yeah, 79 yards. I think he had a rib injury, but a lot of the tests are coming back negative, but they're holding him out. They already announced Andy Dalton as the starter here for this coming week on Thanksgiving.
I mean, he had 2 touchdowns, so he's kind of like what we were seeing with Miami, where they kept switching quarterbacks. You know what I mean? A couple years ago there with Fitzpatrick and everything. But hey, Chicago with another L. They're not moving anywhere in the
another L. I think that's 6 in a row for them, which is crazy.
3-7.
But we both picked the Ravens in this, and that was before we knew Lamar was out,
right?
Because he was a game time decision,
right?
But yeah, I mean, it might have been. I don't know. I probably would have picked the Ravens regardless.
Even if you would have told me Lamar's out, I'm like, okay, I'm still gonna pick the Ravens.
Yeah. A surprise game here, though. The Texans and the Titans. Nobody saw this one coming. After the Titans rolling, you know, even without Derrick Henry, they were rolling, and then just get kind of mollywopped, blindsided by the Texans.
Right, who snap an 8-game losing streak on the Titans' 6-game winning streak, you know, so it's really crazy to see, but very unexpected. It kind of gives me hope going into next week because New England plays the Titans, but very unexpected. Maybe the Titans are starting to show like, okay, the Derrick Henry injury is catching up to him a little bit. I saw they released Adrian Peterson. I'm sure we get to that eventually as well, but they're going through some here where maybe a loss to New England gets them even more flustered, and we'll see them kind of spiral downward. But as of right now, a loss to the Texans does not look good for Tennessee.
No, not at all. And I mean, Tyrod Taylor, he only had 107 passing yards.
Yeah.
No touchdowns, no interceptions. Rex Burkhead, 40 led in rushing with 40 yards. I forgot he was even in the league still.
Yeah, former Patriot.
Former Patriot. Conley only had 37 receiving yards. I mean, the stats don't show much at all. It doesn't show 22 points. But I mean, Ryan Tannehill had 4 interceptions.
That's
one
the big
touchdown.
Issue there. Like what? Yeah,
that's a big issue.
4?
Adrian Peterson, I mean, he led in rushing 40 yards, no touchdowns. And I think Westbrook had 107 yards. But the Titans just could not get it done. You can't win a game with 4 interceptions at all.
it's impossible at this point. Like unless your defense is incredible, and they still let up 22 points there. So it's
even if it's the Texans.
Yeah, kind of what you expected there. Maybe it was just a fluky game, but that's not a good look for Tennessee there.
It's so crazy the Texans got like 2 wins and the Lions can't get a single win.
They're
like
trash.
I feel like the Texans we were entering the season, I feel like the Texans were more of a mess. Like they just had a hodgepodge of just random players, I felt. It wasn't like didn't seem like a team. But they still, I mean, they're not good at all. They only have 2 wins, but they have 2 wins and the Lions have nothing.
Exactly, which will bring us to the next game here, Cleveland and Detroit, which Detroit remains
close game.
Winless, on the season, not getting a single win here. You can squeak out a tie, but you can't get a win. Cleveland really is trending completely in the wrong direction as well. So we weren't too sure on this pick, to be honest, but we both did pick Cleveland in this game.
Yeah, I mean they're 6-5, but they're definitely not a 6-5 team.
Yeah,
I mean they're lucky they played Detroit, I feel like, this week, or else they probably would have got blown out or something.
It would have been pretty bad for him here against anybody else.
I mean, even against Detroit, Baker Mayfield had 2 picks, 1 touchdown, 176 yards. So, I mean, it just wasn't good at all. I mean, Jared Goff isn't even playing at this point. They're saying he might not play for Detroit the rest of the year. What's his name? Tim Boyle. I had to look his name up here. Had 77 yards and 2 picks, no touchdowns. DeAndre Swift carried the game with 136 yards and a touchdown.
He's the one bright spot.
The only touchdown they had.
He's definitely the one bright spot out there, but it's not enough for him.
No, not at all, man. And there's a lot of rumors going around about the Browns moving on from Baker eventually.
I don't think that's a good idea.
And I don't think it's a good idea either, man. Like look at that jersey you had with 14 different quarterbacks. They kept putting tape on it for each quarterback. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
So I mean, and you finally have one good, this dude's playing with a torn labrum or whatever, a fucked up shoulder. I know it's his non-throwing shoulder, but he's still out here hurt playing. What do you expect?
Exactly, man. The Browns front office would be so dumb if they ended up doing something to jeopardize them having Baker Mayfield long term, because he is a great quarterback. He's not going to be like a Tom Brady or anything, but he's going to be, like we talked about, like a Kirk Cousins, where he's getting you through. He can get you to the playoffs. I would hate to see it.
I'd hate to see it too. But we both picked, like you said, the Browns in this one. Lions, just sorry. They're probably not going to get a win this year at all.
I ain't picking them for any game.
Never. Never. So we'll talk about the other game here, the Eagles and the Saints. I told you. I mean, we both picked the Eagles. We both picked Philly in this one. I had to convince you.
You did convince me.
I had to convince you, but we straight mollywopped the Saints. I mean, the score looks closer than it actually was. They started getting some points there at garbage time towards the end, but Jalen Hurts had to go out here, break one of their defensive players' ankles, and run for 20 yards and get a touchdown to seal it up. But man, I am super duper impressed with these Eagles team. The defense showing up, big play Slay, 3 touchdowns on defense over the past 4 weeks. It's crazy.
That is good.
Nuts.
That is good.
But the defense, they're actually putting pressure on quarterbacks now. We're blitzing. Defense looks a hell of a lot better. There was an injury which kind of concerns me on defense. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I'm not super worried about it at this point because the line's still there, the cornerbacks are still there. But yeah, and the offense was able to get it done. They rushed the ball like they have been the past couple of weeks. They're number 1 in rushing now in the NFL. But man, Jalen Hurts, I mean, he only had 147 yards, and I mean that's all he needs these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
He hasn't really been over 200 yards these past couple weeks because they've been leaning on the run. Finally, and we're putting up so many points now these past couple weeks in the first half. The second half, we just got to run the clock out. So that's why you're not even seeing them really pass in the second half of these past couple games. So we haven't really got to see Jalen Hurts really do much as far as passing, but he's running his ass off out here, bro.
3 touchdowns on the ground for him, man.
3 touchdowns on the ground. He didn't have any touchdowns or picks through the air at all. Miles Sanders, though, he led in rushing with 94 yards in his first game back. But yeah, Jalen Hurts 69 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jordan Howard got 63. He ended up getting hurt. He's going to miss this week, but they're looking to get him played next week after that.
Okay.
Dallas Goedert 62 yards. Devontae Smith 61. But yeah, I mean, they're looking great. The Saints, they started getting it rolling there in garbage time, but they just could not get it done at all in that first half. Trevor Siemian threw 2 picks. One was a pick 6. He did have 3 touchdowns, though, 214 yards. Mark Ingram, 88 yards. But that whole first 3 quarters, 2.5 quarters, they could not do anything.
Siemian had 4 touchdowns, technically. He rushed a touchdown, too.
Oh, yeah, he ran one in. Yeah, he did run one in. I forgot about that.
He had a good day. Yeah. "Quote unquote good day," you know what I mean, as far as that
goes.
Yeah,
statistically, he had a good day.
He did also throw those 2 picks.
But they weren't technically, they weren't really in the game really at all. So right. I mean, the score makes it look a little differently. But if you watch the game, you saw how it was. But Eagles, they're trending in the right direction. You guys, the Patriots, with your great ass head coach, were able to get it figured out way ahead of time, weeks ago. Now we're just kind of getting it figured out in like 2 weeks. The past 2 weeks, we're figuring shit out.
It's a long
getting
season.
Some wins together.
It's a long
season. Exactly. Kind of figure out your identity. But I'm super impressed. And we go against these Giants, which we'll talk about then. But we both picked the Eagles in that one. Packers and the Vikings. We smart. We told y'all.
No, you smart. You're smart.
Oh, I thought you picked the Vikings too.
I picked the Packers for some goddamn reason. I think I want to go back and look at the recording because I think I said this like word for word. Like it'll end up being 34-31 Minnesota or something like that. But I'm going to go ahead and pick the Packers. I'm pretty sure I said that shit. Like I'm going to go back and look at it.
I remember you saying it was going to be close.
But I man, it's just ridiculous to me. I got to trust my gut. And I really thought Minnesota could have won this game, and they did.
Same thing with the Colts game.
Exactly. Aaron Rodgers did have 4 touchdowns, but they ended up outlasted him, man, with that game-winning field goal there. So, good for them.
This dude got messed up toe.
I know.
Apparently his shit, broken or something. They don't know what's going on. And he said it's, more painful than turf toe, and turf toe be holding people out. So, this dude playing with a bad foot.
Still
getting 4 touchdowns, 385 yards.
Right. Almost had 400 yards on that shit.
Yeah.
They're still 8-3 though, so they're in a great position going forward, and the Vikings needed this win for playoff consideration there. So we'll see what happens.
They really did. Yeah, Kirk Cousins 341 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook 86 yards and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson 169 and 2 touchdowns. He had a wild catch.
He showed up to the game wearing that Randy Moss shirt, man. He had to have a good game.
Even Adam Thielen had 82 and a touchdown. So, he got some work in as well. But, yeah, them Vikings were able to pull it off, get the field goal. Usually they fold and end up missing those kind of field goals at the end to win games. Exactly. But they ended up making this one. On Green Bay's receiving, Marquez Valdez-Scantling got 123. Receiving yards and a touchdown. Devontae 115 and 2 touchdowns. So Packers played their ass off. It just wasn't enough to get it done in the end. They didn't have the last possession. It just kind of works out that way.
Exactly. It was just like the football
how the game goes.
Out of time.
Yeah. But yeah, I picked the Vikings, picked Packers on that one. Dolphins and the Jets. We didn't really know how to go about this one. We knew Joe Flacco was going to be playing.
Yeah.
But we both picked the Dolphins in this one. We could not pick the Jets.
Exactly. We both picked the Dolphins. Even though both these teams are shit, I do not trust the Jets. It's almost like picking the Lions every week. I don't feel right about even making that selection, regardless of who you play. So I went with Miami on this one. We benefited. We both got the W on that. Tua had a nice game there, but nothing crazy, but ended up pulling out the game.
Yeah, 273, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Michael Gaskin, 89 rushing. Back Hollins, Old Eagle, 72 yards and a touchdown. Haven't heard that name in a while. Joe Flacco, 291 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Michael Carter, 63 rushing yards. And who was that? Elijah Moore had 141 yards and a touchdown. He's been balling.
Yeah, he has
this season
been
for the Jets.
the last couple of weeks.
He's
there,
a bright
so.
spot for them.
He's one I've been looking at the waiver wire. I see him out there on fantasy, and I'm like, I don't trust the Jets. It's hard to pick him up, you know. But
I can't do it.
I know he's been balling. I've had my eye on him.
Which leads us into the next one here, Washington and Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forget did I pick Carolina in this one?
You picked Carolina. I picked Washington.
You picked Washington.
Hell yeah. Yep. I knew it. I was like, Ron Rivera knows all of Cam's dirty tricks. He's going to end up beating
It was
him.
A close one, though.
It was a close one.
27-21. Taylor Heineke, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton, 189 yards, 2 touchdowns. I believe he had a rushing touchdown as well, didn't
3
he?
3 touchdowns total as well there. So Cam came out only 6 incompletions. You know, pretty good game for him overall there.
Yeah.
But just Ron Rivera and them Washington football no names there ended up pulling out the victory. So I'm happy for him. Terry McLaurin's, everybody says it, and he still doesn't get the credit. Like, he's one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. So it's nice to see him have a nice game here. You know.
Yeah, 103 yards and a touchdown. But yeah, I mean, Washington was able to get it done. I was hoping they weren't. I was hoping Carolina and Cam were going to be able to get it done. Hold them back a little bit.
Nope.
But, you know, they were able to get shit done over there. Moving on to the next game here, 49ers and the Jaguars. What a blowout. I mean, 49ers, it seems like 49ers are just, they kind of found their footing now. They started out really rough, and now, I mean, they're up at 500 now, 5-5.
Yeah, they beat the Rams, then they came and beat the Jaguars here. I still don't trust them. There's something about them.
I don't trust them at all either.
But even this 79 yards and a touchdown was a quiet game for Deebo Samuel there. So they know something. They figured out a little bit there, but I still don't trust them in big games.
It reminds me of last year with the Cardinals, how they would look great one week and the next week they just look terrible, and then great again the next week, like explosive.
Then
it's just kind of spotty.
And you don't know what team, like, that's not going to be sustainable in the playoffs. So we'll see.
Yeah, and that's why they're 5-5, I guess. It's like perfectly every other week pretty much. But yeah, I mean, we'll both pick the 49ers in that one. I don't think either of us have really picked Jacksonville at all this season. No. There's no reason to at all.
Except that one London game.
Yeah. The one London game, you know, if the Jaguars play in London, they might get a dub. But the Bengals and the Raiders here are next. I forget even how we bet on this one.
We both picked Cincinnati.
Both picked the Bengals?
Yep, both picked Cincinnati.
Yeah, because the Raiders have just looked bad the past couple weeks.
They really have. And Joe Mixon was explosive this game here, man. Like, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have 30 carries there, but he had a great game. On the other side, Darren Waller with 116 benefit me once again on my fantasy football team. So anytime I see Darren Waller balling out, I love to see it. But I wish he could have got a touchdown there. The Raiders just can't keep up. You know, it doesn't seem like they can keep up right now.
No, they're looking bad. I mean, Derek Carr, 215 yards, touchdown, interception. Josh Jacobs, 37 yards. You talked about Darren Waller a little bit. Mm-hmm. They just can't get anything moving. They can't get in the red zone. They can't get touchdowns or anything. They just can't find any momentum in these games.
Right. It's just looking like you're saying, it's hard for them to move the ball right now.
Yeah. I mean, Jamar Chase, he only had 32 yards and a touchdown. He did get a touchdown, though, for them Bengals. He's still looking good. But Joe Burrow, 148 yards, touchdown, no interceptions.
Yep.
Both picked Cincinnati in that one. Rolling on to this one, looking pretty good. Them Chiefs versus them Cowboys. We both picked them Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. This was a tough one for us, but we ended up pulling out. We were like, you know what? Kansas City's going to win this game here. It was a tough game. Yeah. It really was. But
it was a tough game.
Kansas City pulled it out, man.
Yeah, I mean, they got up early, and they were able to hold that lead. Mm-hmm. You know, let me see here. Pat Mahomes, 260 yards. He didn't have a touchdown, but he did have a pick. Carl Edwards-Helaire, 63 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 77 yards. Kelsey, 74 yards.
Right.
But the Cowboys, Zeke was out for a minute. He had like an issue with his knee. He had an injury on his knee, I think. He was out for a minute. When Pollard came in, he had 50 yards. Dak ended up with 216 and 2 picks, which didn't help at all. Amari Cooper tested positive. He's missed that game, and he's going to miss this game against the the Raiders on Thanksgiving here when this podcast release. So who knows what they're going to look like? Because CD Lamb, apparently he might miss the game as well. So who knows what's going to happen there? I know they'll have Zeke and stuff, but I don't know. I mean, who knows what the Raiders are going to look like? Maybe they can end up catching a dub against these Cowboys, catching them slipping.
That's going to be a tough game to pick going forward there. But the Cowboys really, we went into this like, okay, the Chiefs defense sucks. The Cowboys offense is great. So what's really going to happen here? And they couldn't even score a touchdown. So, but like you just listed,
Chiefs defense looked good here. Surprisingly,
they do have a lot of injuries though, in a lot of places. So. Cowboys still in a good position at 7-3, but they do face a tough Thanksgiving matchup here. Oakland's not Las Vegas is not a crazy tough matchup, but it's going to be tough enough. They're not going to just roll over.
Especially if you're missing pieces like that on your receiving core. Going into Arizona and the Seahawks, we can't bet on these Seahawks at all. They look absolutely terrible.
No.
And on paper, they shouldn't be. Like, it's crazy. I don't understand it.
Colt
McCoy did it again. He's back
again. 328 yards, 2 touchdowns from a man. Bro, it's amazing. Like, who is this guy?
Coach pulled him aside and said, "Listen, Colt, you look great the other week, but last week you can't do that again.
You can't do that
get back
again.
to you suck. You can't do that again." He said, "Okay, Coach.
We're having a great season. You can't jeopardize that just because Kyler Murray got hurt for a couple weeks. Like, he's not even actually hurt no more. We're just trying to rest him up for the playoffs. We're
just getting past the bye week here, and then he'll play again. You just got to get us this next game."
Come on.
You said, "Fine, Coach. I got you. It's my name's Colt McCoy, and you can trust me. 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. James Conner, 62 yards rushing and a touchdown. Zach Ertz, 2 touchdowns and 88 yards. Balling. He was relying on Zach Ertz there. AJ Green even had 78 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Cardinals were able to get it done against these Seahawks. I mean, Russ only had 207 yards, no touchdown, no picks. Collins, who's their lead rusher there, because Chris Carlson?
Chase Edmonds.
No, they're running back. The Seahawks, who got hurt.
Oh, Chris Carson.
Been out for a while. Chris Carson. Yeah, he's out for the season now. So they're gonna have to make do with what they have unless they, go out and pick someone up off the waiver wire, maybe Adrian Peterson or even Phillip Lindsay, who was released today by the Texans.
Yeah.
Possibly. But I mean, Tyler Lockett, he had 115 yards and no touchdowns, but DK Metcalf only had 31 yards. Seahawks 3-7. They just look pitiful right now. 3-7.
That's a good way to put it. They look pitiful. They do not look like the Seahawks team we thought they were going to be coming into the season here.
Not at all. And I mean, we both picked the Cardinals in this one, though. Going into that night game, Steelers and the Chargers, man, this one got out of hand. They were just slinging it.
It did.
Getting touchdowns.
The end of it was wild, man. I was like, what the hell is going on? And this was another one here, man. Like, I was playing against Keenan Allen, so I was really worried. Like, the longer this game went on, I was just like, oh my God, like, oh no, it's happening again. But it was a great matchup here, man. The Steelers put up a ton of points, but the Chargers were just too much to handle there. Justin Herbert, 382, 3 touchdowns, man. He also had 90 yards on the ground. Like, man, he put the team on his back.
Austin Eckler, 2 touchdowns, 50 yards, 2 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, 112 yards, no touchdowns. Austin Eckler also had 65 and 2 touchdowns, though. But the Steelers, they were able to keep up for a minute. They just weren't able to get it done in the end there. Big Ben, showing, flashes of old Big Ben, like young Big Ben. 273 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Najee Harris, 39 yards and a touchdown. Claypool was able to come back 93 yards. And who was that? Deontay Johnson?
Yep.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson, 101 yards and a touchdown. But what just wasn't enough for them Steelers to get it. We both picked the Chargers in that one, right?
Yes, exactly. And at least it wasn't another tie for Pittsburgh. So I'd rather take an L than a tie.
Yeah. Which leads us into the Monday night game here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Giants. And as expected, the Buccaneers beat the brakes off the Giants. Danny Nichols looks terrible.
Danny Nichols.
Why? Like, they need to move on.
He's going to be a homeless quarterback next year. Okay?
Yeah, he's going to be a backup somewhere.
He's going to be a fucking backup, a floater. like bouncing around team to team, getting cut here. Like Danny Nichols' time is done. Like it's time to stop relying on this guy. Okay, I don't know what the fuck New York sees in him, but it's over. Just get rid of him already. Get rid of him.
He only had 167 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks.
2 picks, of course.
Saquon Barkley's first game back, he only had 25 yards, no touchdowns, and he was the lead rusher. Tony was the rookie wide receiver, only had 40 yards. They can't get anything going on offense at all. Tom Brady, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick.
That pick wasn't even his fault.
35 yards. Yeah, pick wasn't even his fault. Mike Evans, 73 yards and a touchdown. Gronk came back 71 yards. Godwin even had 65 and a touchdown.
Yep.
But yep, they beat the brakes off the Giants. You know, Giants look sorry right now.
It was a get right game for New England for Tampa Bay there.
It is. It was a great get right game for them.
To get back in position where they need to be, jockeying for that top seed of the NFC there. They're a couple games back, but they still got some room there.
Yeah. Let me see here. So before we get into the Week 12 games, because they didn't adjust everything on here as far as the schedule, they didn't update that on here from what I can see. But there are Saturday games, I believe, aren't there? Oh no, those are in a couple
weeks.
That's
for December.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here. But before we get to the Week 12 predictions, we'll go through all the news here that's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Starting with the first one, we've already talked about a little bit. Titans released Adrian Peterson. We can expect teams like the Seahawks, you know, one of those type of teams. Maybe the Ravens try to get him. Who knows at this team? Any team that's looking for a nice running back at this point.
I just wonder why.
I don't know.
Like, why?
I mean, he was their lead rusher, like we were saying. I don't know.
Exactly. It's very interesting to me, but we'll see where he ends up landing.
Yeah. Jets rookie quarterback Zach Wilson is going to be starting here against the Texans this week. Crazy enough, Joe Flacco, who they traded for, isn't vaccinated and has COVID now, and he's out. And their other Mike White is on the COVID list as well. So that's the Jets for you.
Thank God Zach Wilson's healthy again, you know, like.
Yeah, thank God I don't know if he had a choice. They're like, hey, Zach, man, we don't have any other quarterbacks.
You're up, buddy.
You got to come in here. Hopefully you don't get hurt again.
Don't get hurt, man.
But as we saw today, Jason Garrett has been relieved of his duties with the Giants.
You're fired.
You're fired.
Your services are no longer needed.
A familiar name for the Browns, Freddie Kitchens, is now taking over playing calling responsibilities, which I don't think that's a positive thing at all. I think you're probably either getting worse or you just a lateral move.
Yeah, that's a very lateral move. They just want to keep getting fired coaches to do this job, and it's obviously just bad choice after bad choice.
He was the tight ends coach for the Giants.
Oh my God.
But getting into the schedule a little bit here, as I mentioned before, NFL flexed the Broncos and the Chiefs game in Week 13 to Sunday Night Football on NBC, and the 49ers Seahawks is moving to 4:25.
Mm-hmm.
And Week 15 will feature a Saturday doubleheader with the Raiders at the Browns and Patriots at the Colts. I cannot wait to watch that game. The Patriots and the Colts.
Scared. Oh, I'm scared, but I know we got it, man. Tough matchups ahead of us, but we got this. We got this, Mac Jones. This is where you find out who you actually are, okay?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure you guys will still be rolling by then. And you guys got a bye week in between there too, don't you?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah. Steelers tight end Eric Ebron is expected to miss even more time as he braces for potential knee surgery. So he's pretty much wasted this season. He's been out most of the season.
This whole time.
Hasn't really done much for him. I could see him calling it a career here soon. Old Eric Ebron.
Especially if he can't recover from these injuries here, you know.
Yeah. We already talked about Jason Garrett and Amari Cooper. Julian Edelman apparently was asked by Tom Brady if he wants to join the Buccaneers and signing. And he said, I was like, absolutely not.
He said,
he's still retired. He said, hell no, I'm not coming out of retirement. I'm done. I'm not playing football anymore.
He said he was gonna play until the wheels fell off, and the wheels fell off. So that don't mean like you oil him up and like Gronk
put
or
it back
anything.
on or something.
Nah,
yeah.
Jules is done. He's taken a lot of hits. He's done. He's a littler dude than Gronk, man.
Yeah. But let me see here. There was a article that came out today stating that Matt Nagy was informed by the Bears that he was going to be fired after the Thanksgiving Day game, which they asked him about in a press conference today, and he denied. But they asked him a follow-up if, like, they ever kind of gave him assurance that his job was safe throughout the rest of the season, and he didn't comment on that.
He's like,
so, I mean, he may not be fired after this game, but he's probably going to be fired. Either at the end of the season or
fired after this game here. We'll see what happens. Even if
it's
they
possible.
win, it'd be funny if
I don't think he's just going to come out and agree with that.
They're going to fire him after the win because they play in Detroit. So, like, you got to win this game. If they lose this game,
bro. If they lose in Detroit,
fired.
Yeah. It depends on this. And watch, like, even without Jared Goff, they're going to, like, Lions are going to pull one off somehow. Somehow. I don't know how they're going to do it. But speaking of that, there are apparently players in the Bears locker room that want Matt Nagy fired as well.
Yeah,
apparently, that's per a source.
The locker room's already turned on him. It's time for him to get out of there.
New Orleans QB Taysom Hill signed a unique 4-year hybrid type of contract extension. It could be worth anywhere between $40 million to $95 million, depending on the position he plays, either like tight end or QB, including a $22 million guaranteed. So he's locked in for the next 4 years with them. I don't understand what's going on with these Saints.
They really know what's going on.
Bro, if you're that sold on him, play him. Why aren't you playing him at QB if you're that sold on him? Why is Trevor Siemian playing right now? And why like Taysom Hill's been active? He's just chilling on the sideline. Why aren't you playing him at tight end or QB? Like, you just signed him to a deal and you just have him sit there. It doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't make sense. I don't know what's going on there. Because
I would be pissed if I was New Orleans fans.
You would think he knows what the fuck the playbook is, so it's not a playbook thing or anything like that. So like, why? What is the issue here?
Yeah, and Taysom Hill, I remember him saying, we talked about before how he's saying that he wants to be a starting QB, where it's like, why would you lock yourself into a deal when you know you're probably not? Especially with like Jameis out for the year, where he's probably going to be starting next year, unless he's like, fuck it, I could sign a 4-year deal and get easy money if I don't have to do anything. Maybe that's the thought behind it too.
Who knows? But it's a weird contract though. It
is super weird. But I wasn't nobody was expecting that. That kind of raised a lot of question marks when that came out. Jets rookie running back Michael Carter suffered a low-grade high ankle sprain, expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks, which is bad news for them.
Everything's bad news.
Like terrible Jets.
Yeah,
everything's bad news for the Jets.
Bad news for the Jets.
Jaguars placed wide receiver Jamal Agnew on injured reserve for a season-ending hip injury.
Another one down.
Test confirmed Packers. Yeah, another one down. Packers O-line Elton Jenkins suffered a season-ending torn ACL during the loss to the Vikings.
Sorry,
he's out.
Packers fans, man.
Yeah, Packers are getting banged up right now.
See the next man up mentality, man.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out for him. Cortland Sutton for the Broncos signed a 4-year, $60 million extension with the Broncos.
Okay.
So he's getting paid. He has a 78.4 PFF grade this season.
Definitely
15th among wide receivers.
This year, if anything, like he balled this year so far.
And I'm not gonna lie, and I mean it's getting a lot of attention. Even though they don't have a quarterback right now, they have a nice young group of receivers. The Broncos. And they have a lot of cap space because they locked them down. And the question is, what if they go after an Aaron Rodgers or a Russell Wilson? They could be elite next year with that wide receiver.
And they got rid of
they can just
cap like dead cap like Von Miller, things like that. So they're they're gearing up. So who knows what they can end up doing.
If they can get one of those quarterbacks, and then get either draft or get a nice running back, they could be set, man.
Right.
Vikings Kirk Cousins currently has 21 touchdowns and 2 interceptions on the season.
Damn.
The record for the best ratio in the single season is 28-2, which is set by Thomas Wayne Brady in 2016.
Yeah.
So it's looking like Kirk Cousins could break it
He
here in the
probably
next week.
will, unless he starts throwing some interceptions there. He's definitely going to have more touchdowns.
Yep. And talking about Kirk Cousins here, he has 25 career games with at least 300 passing yards and 3 touchdown passes, passing Aaron Rodgers.
Damn.
At 24. For second most such games. So, I mean, number one is Dan Marino with 26. So if Kirk Cousins can get one more, he ties Dan Marino there. But he already passed.
God.
So, I mean, statistically, Kirk Cousins, he's balling out here.
We've been saying it, man, silently. Like, Kirk Cousins is the real deal. We
may not look like it on, like, their win column, but statistically, Kirk Cousins
he's out
doing
there
some shit.
Putting out work, man, every time. Trying to get his team to the victory.
Exactly. I feel like he really took a step up here this year.
Yeah.
And someone else who did in their second year, Jonathan Taylor, joins Nick Chubb as the only player since 2008 to score a rushing touchdown 8 consecutive games.
That's crazy right there. But it's who else? Like especially this season, he's been having a hell of a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Cowboys, Micah Parsons is the first player with 60 sacks, 8 sacks in his team's first 10 games of the season since Terrell Suggs in 2013.
Damn.
He's also the first player with 60 tackles and 8 sacks in his first 10 career games since 2000. So that's just showing you how good he's been for them Cowboys.
That was a hell of a good pickup.
Yep. And we talked about Darren Waller a little bit. He recorded his 12th career 100-yard receiving game today for against the Bengals. That's the third most by any tight end since making his debut in 2015. The others were Travis Kelce and Rob Gronkowski.
So right there, that tells you he's up there with elite company, man. Darren Waller.
Took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say the same thing.
He's the real deal.
And Jonathan Taylor, we talked about him a little bit. Is first Colts player with 5+ scrimmage touchdowns in a game in franchise history for the Colts.
There ain't many players in NFL history that have had 5 touchdowns in a game.
Yeah, and I mean, he's also the first running back to pass 1,000 yards this season. He's just the 11th player in the NFL history with at least 1,000 rushing yards and 10 rushing touchdowns in each of his first 2 seasons.
Damn. So I didn't realize he was starting off that hot right there. So.
Oh yeah, Jonathan Taylor, man.
We knew he was going to be good, but I didn't know he was going to be this good.
And I'm sure he'd be talking about him still, but I think a lot of the reason we're talking about him is because Derrick Henry's out.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure, especially with this game, we'd be talking about him, but he was kind of getting overshadowed because of old Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry was on pace for records,
Yeah. Because he was a couple 100 yards ahead of Jonathan Taylor still when he was playing.
Exactly.
But Justin Jefferson topped 100 receiving yards before the end of the first quarter this week. He now has 11 career games with 100+ receiving yards, tying Hall of Fame Randy Moss and Juju Smith-Schuster for second most in the players' first 2 seasons in the Super Bowl era.
He's the real deal, man. Juju fell off, but this dude is the real deal. Justin Jefferson's gonna have a hell of a career.
Yeah, I think so as well. Seahawks, we already talked about that. Chris Carson with a neck injury. He was expected to come back in week 10 and 11, but he's now been designated. He's out for the rest of the year. You can't mess with them neck injuries.
No.
Bears placed all-pro pass rusher Khalil Mack on injury reserve to have season-ending foot surgery. He's done for the season.
More bad news for Chicago there.
Yeah, and because of that, they went out and signed Bruce Irvin, who's 34. He has 52 sacks in 121 career games, posted 8 sacks over 13 games in 2019. So I think he's a little old, but, they went out and scooped him.
Some depth kind of help, have a good veteran presence in there.
Yeah. And 3 teams that Matt Ryan has not won against ever. The Falcons, of course, the Steelers are 0-3, and the Patriots are 0-5. Matt Ryan has never beat the Steelers or the Patriots ever.
That's pretty fucking funny to me, okay? I'm so happy. Because like I said, ever since that Super Bowl, man, it's just been Matt Ryan. I think this was the second or third time we've played them since the Super Bowl, and they cannot do shit against us, man. Every time Matt Ryan is just getting so flustered. I'm sorry, Matt Ryan. You're all right. You're a cool quarterback and all, but you can't come up to New England and do anything. It don't even matter. You can't have New England come to your house and do anything. We're gonna whoop your ass regardless. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Interesting news here. The Texans tight end coach Andy Bischoff told reporters that QB Jeff Driscoll is moving to tight end now. And they believe Driscoll is a rare athlete and has the speed and size to make the switch.
All
so
right.
Jeff Driscoll is going to be playing tight end now.
Okay. Let's see how long that lasts.
And the last bit of news I have here as far as NFL, Russell Wilson said that he wants to play at least 10 more years in the NFL, and then he wants to own an NFL team.
Okay. He's got to play 10 more years, get a couple more contracts if he wants to own an NFL team.
Yeah. But that's the last bit of news I have here. We can roll right into our Squad Pod Sports Week 12 predictions here. And we got a whole slate of games here on Thanksgiving.
Got some Thanksgiving action.
Yeah, so of course on Thanksgiving we're going to see the Cowboys and the Lions play. And that's like the first game here. The Lions are playing the Bears at 12:30. Chicago are 3-point favorites with Andy Dalton officially starting for the game.
And Matt Nagy's job on the line.
Matt Nagy's job is on the line. He's already rumored to be fired after the game, regardless, it seems. But a loss to the Lions would certainly seal that fate.
I think I'm going to go with Chicago just because I can't pick Detroit. If they win this game, then, good for them. I was wrong, but I can't pick Detroit. There's no way.
I feel the same way. I mean, they're not 0-9-1. You can't pick a team that doesn't even have a win on the season, even though Chicago has been really bad these past, 6 weeks here. I got to pick the Bears. They got to win, right? I mean, where's it at? It's on Ford Field still. It's in Detroit, but I still got to roll with the Bears. I mean, like you were saying, if the Lions win, great. They got to win, finally. But I can't pick them.
I can't pick them. No.
Not at all. The second game here, the Raiders and the Cowboys. Dallas are 7.5-point favorites. Amari Cooper is out, they're saying. CeeDee Lamb didn't practice yet so far to this week. So I don't know. He's questionable. I haven't really seen a status on him. So it's looking like he might not play, but it seems like Zeke wills. But I don't know what the Raiders are going to be like. They've been bad here the past couple weeks too.
Yeah, as banged up as the Cowboys are, I know they only put up 9 points last week, but this is in Dallas.
Yeah.
I think they can come out and get the win here against a pretty banged up themselves and, dealing with a lot of other issues Las Vegas Raiders team. So I'm going to pick Dallas in this one here.
Yeah, I got to pick Dallas as well. I mean, they still got Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, they got Zeke, and I mean, who's the running back they got? Pollard, and they have Michael Gallup's back as well, so he's a reliable receiver for him. So I don't think they're going to have much trouble. But you never know. The Raiders could give them a run for their money, but I expect Dallas to win this one. The third one here, Bills and the Saints. Buffalo is 6-point favorites. Saints are bad. Kamara's looking to be out again, and Mark Ingram is on the injury report as well. So they might not even have Mark Ingram here. Yeah. Some of their O-line is going to be out, just like it was against the Eagles. I have a hard time picking the Saints, so I got to pick the Bills in this one.
Yeah,
even though they looked bad last week,
especially after last week, coming off a loss to the Eagles, you're still banged up. You're no Kamara, and Buffalo, who's trying to right the ship here. They're on a short week. I mean, all these teams are on a short week, but Buffalo especially is trying to right the ship here and regain some kind of control of the AFC East. So I'm going to say Buffalo wins this game.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing here, which goes into our Sunday 1:00 games. Steelers and the Bengals here. Steelers have looked kind of resilient past couple weeks. I mean, they took an L, of course, but they did put up a lot of points and had made a fight against the Chargers, and I think they're going to do the same thing against the Bengals. Bengals got a win, though, after looking bad a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This one I feel could go either way as well. I mean, Cincy are 4.5-point favorites.
It really could go either way. I'm going to definitely go with Cincinnati in this game, though, just because Pittsburgh is playing out of desperation. So they might squeak a win out, but they're not out here blowing teams out or holding leads, anything like that there. So
I was going to say, they're usually coming from behind and winning if they do.
I'm picking Cincinnati.
And I don't know if the Steelers defense is going to be able to stop much from the Bengals.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think I saw Minkah Fitzpatrick on the injury report for the Steelers, which isn't good, which is their top corner. So, yeah, I'm inclined to go with the Bengals. I'm going to go with the line on this one. So we matching each other so far.
Yep.
This next game should have been the damn primetime game. Buccaneers and Colts. I would have loved to see this primetime, man.
Damn, this is tough.
I think I'm gonna pick the Colts.
Okay.
To be honest,
I'm gonna pick Tampa Bay.
I know Gronk is back for Tampa Bay. I know they don't have Antonio Brown right now. They do have Mike Evans and Godwin still. But man, them Colts, they can sling it. They can lean on. I mean, unless the Buccaneers can stop Jonathan Taylor, I don't know. I mean, the Buccaneers are favored to win this one, only by 3 points.
Only by 3 points.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Tampa Bay just because, like you were saying, they still have Gronk, they have Godwin, they have Evans, they got Brady, they got Fournette. Like, they have a ton of weapons. Where the Colts, they got Taylor, and then the weapons kind of fall off. You got Pittman, you got Wentz, you got weapons out there, but they're not on the level as Tampa Bay there. So I'm rolling with Tampa Bay in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna still roll with the Colts.
Gotcha.
Fuck it. Go with the Colts on this one. Eagles and the Giants. Philly are 3.5-point favorites. You know who I'm rolling with.
Yeah,
going with them
easy.
Birds.
Danny Nichols ain't got shit on Jalen Hurts, bro.
It's even at MetLife Stadium, but I say screw that.
Yeah,
going with them Birds still.
Yeah, I'm 100% rolling with the Eagles on that one.
I'm expecting Boston Scott to get like 120 yards. Book it. He's the giant killer every time. And Jordan Howard's out for this week. Perfect time.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Next one here, the Panthers and the Dolphins. Cam Newton versus Tua Tagovailoa. I can't say his last name.
Tagovailoa.
I can't say it, man. Tagovailoa.
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 Yes, Tagovailoa.
Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, I got it. Finally, I'm just gonna call him Tua. I think we did this before. This is a tie. They're saying this is even.
I'm going with Carolina.
It says Carolina 1.5, but when you click on it, it says tie. It says even. Pretty damn much.
Carolina, man. Cam Newton's coming out. He's playing great football right now. I know the Dolphins are on a 3-game winning streak, but they're still the Dolphins. They're 4-7 after their 3-game winning streak. Okay, so go ahead and fuck off with all that. You fucking Miami pieces of. We'll get past that. But I'm rolling with Carolina.
The last 2 games, Panthers start out so hot, and they end up losing by a couple points. They lost the last 2. I think they're gonna be able to bounce back against these Dolphins here. Yeah. I'll definitely roll with them Panthers on this one.
Hell yeah.
Titans and the Patriots.
Easy money.
I'm rolling with them Patriots.
Easy money right here. Okay, listen. I am pretty worried about this game. I'm not gonna lie. I'm worried about the 4-game stretch that we have here. We have Tennessee, Buffalo, Indianapolis, and then Buffalo. That's the next 4 games for the Patriots, and this starts it off here. So Titans are coming off that bad loss there to the Texans.
They're trying to get right.
They're trying to get right, but you don't come to New England to get right. So I don't care who's that quarterback. Tom Brady, Mac Jones, Jimmy Garoppolo, it don't matter. You don't come to New England on a get-right game. So New England marching along here. I'm picking them for the victory.
Yeah, I mean, they're even 6.5-point favorites. I'm definitely rolling with the Patriots on this one. Falcons and the Jaguars.
This is tough.
Terrible.
This is tough. I think I personally am going to roll with Jacksonville in this one just because of how fucking ass Atlanta is. And I've been saying this for weeks.
It says even, so there's no point line on this one.
I've been saying this for weeks. Atlanta is terrible. I don't know how the fuck they squeaked out 4 wins, but somehow they did there. But I'm going with Jacksonville. Call me crazy. I'm going with Jacksonville. Oh,
you're going with Jacksonville, too. It's in Jacksonville. Ooh.
Atlanta is terrible.
They are.
But
the Jaguars are terrible too, man.
Yeah, but they're at least expected to be that bad. Like, the Falcons are supposed to be like a fucking mediocre team, you know what I mean?
Oh, this is so bad. I don't know what to pick, man. I guess I'll just roll with the Jaguars. I'll just go with your pick. I'm not confident enough to pick the Falcons to try to get one up on you. I can't do it. So I gotta roll with the Jaguars.
Might as well take the L with me, you know?
Yeah, exactly. This is another one. The Jets and the Texans. Damn it.
This should be an easy enough one here, especially
This one doesn't even say even or have a spread. It just says Jets and Texans.
It says don't bet this game.
No bet.
It says,
just don't even try it.
Don't bet this game, brother. You're not gonna want to.
Part of me wants to lean towards the Jets on this one.
I can't pick the Jets as the same way as like the Detroit Lions. I can't pick the Lions. I can't pick the Jets. I'm gonna roll the Texans on this one. They're probably gonna
they're both
me.
2-8, so I can't trust either of them.
I can't either. It's like a brand name. Like I can't trust the New York Jets. I'm not doing it. You can't pay me enough.
Son of a bitch.
I'm picking Houston. You either gonna come down with me, or you're gonna one up me and pick the Jets and Zach Wilson.
I'm gonna go down with you. I'll pick the Texans.
All right,
just because of what they did on defense to the Titans, and because I trust Tyrod Taylor over Zach Wilson.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll go with them Texans. Son of a bitch. Chargers and the Broncos. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. I'm rolling with the Chargers on this one.
This is tough. I
mean, this is a divisional game, I think, for them. But I'm rolling with them Chargers.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I think the Chargers run the pulling it out. They seem to be hitting their stride, especially in three aspects of it: passing, running, and receiving there. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Chargers in that one.
Yeah. Next one here is even. There's a lot of even spreads in this game.
It's a tough week.
Rams and the Packers. Ugh. 8-3 Packers versus 7-3 Rams. Rams, I think, are coming off a bye this past week.
And they've been so wishy-washy with that loss to the 49ers. So
exactly. And the Packers, that O-line's banged up, but they do have Aaron Rodgers.
They do still have Aaron Rodgers.
Part of me wants to go with the Rams.
Okay. I'm going to go with Green Bay. Just because this is such a close game to me in my head, and the Packers are 4-0 at home. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going to go with Green Bay to continue their home streak, at least with this season here.
Interesting. I'm just thinking about that Rams defense, but I'm worried about that Rams offense.
Yeah.
Because Matt Stafford hasn't been looking like LA Matt Stafford. He's been looking like Detroit Matt Stafford. I'll go with the Packers.
Okay.
I got to go with the Packers. I know my heart said Rams, and I might be kicking myself next week, but hey, I'm going to roll with the Packers.
Got to roll with them for now.
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Vikings and the 49ers. San Fran are 3-point favorites, but I think I'm going to go with the Vikings on this one.
Yeah, it's no question in my head. I'm rolling with Minnesota in this one. Coming off a beatdown, not a beatdown, but barely squeaking out a win against Green Bay, but still getting a win against Green Bay. Kirk Cousins is playing great football. I know the 49ers are kind of coming on here as well, but we talked about how wishy-washy they are, where this is a good game for the Vikings to kind of prove, okay, we're a playoff team. Like, come on now.
Yeah. I expect the Vikings to win that one. Next one here, the night game, Browns and Ravens. Baltimore 3.5-point favorites. I would think Lamar Jackson is going to be in this game. So, I mean, I'm picking the Ravens in this one.
And that does hinge on Lamar Jackson, but I'm not going to change my pick either way. I'm going to roll with Baltimore in this one as well here.
Exactly. I'm going to roll with Baltimore. Monday night game. God dang it. Seahawks and Washington, no names. Washington are 1-point favorites. I'm inclined to roll with Washington on this one just because of how bad the Seahawks look.
Exactly. Yeah. The Seahawks are trash right now. I love Russell Wilson, but the Seahawks are trash, and they can't stop anything. So I'm going to roll with Washington. Ron Rivera, Taylor Heinicke, get it done. Go out there Monday night, end the week.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to roll with them here. But that's all of our picks for this week. Mm-hmm. So we're not telling anybody to bet any of these. That's on you. That's your responsibility, not ours. But those are our picks for the week.
Our records show that
before
we're pretty good.
We are pretty good, but we're not telling you. It's your responsibility if you betting on these games.
Exactly.
Before we go into any of our NBA hot and not NBA news here, I just want to check on there's some college news. We don't touch on college a lot here. So talk about some stuff here. Penn State and head coach James Franklin reached a 10-year contract agreement through 2031.
What?
10 years.
There was all this talk about
Penn
him going
State
elsewhere, and they locked him down.
And not only that, Michigan State is working on a 10-year, $95 million deal with Mel Tucker as a head coach.
Damn, 10-year deals. Didn't they see that with Gruden that didn't work out?
Didn't work out, and it's already hasn't been working out for Penn State at all with this dude.
Right. I mean, they're competitive every year, but they're not where they need to be. You know, they're expected to be competing for a Big Ten championship every single year. You know, so we'll see. I know they seem to like him over there, James Franklin, but I don't know, man. That's a long deal.
10 years. I don't know how anybody can be that comfortable signing anybody for 10 years and no matter who they are.
Right.
But going to the badass quote of the week from none other than Ohio State Buckeyes coach Ryan Day. He was asked about Jim Harbaugh saying he would beat the Buckeyes or die trying, and this dude said 3 words: "Rest in peace."
That's so cold. Cold as ice.
Cold
I'm not
as
trying to
ice,
jinx
bro.
nothing, but they have Jim Harbaugh has never fucking beat the Buckeyes. It's never happened. And the entire existence of him at Michigan, it's never happened. So I don't know. Broke clocks right twice a day, but I don't see this happening. It's not gonna happen.
Friday out here, savage. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Sorry, brother. It ain't gonna be this week either.
It ain't gonna be this week.
I know your job hinges on the game, but it ain't gonna be this year either. It's crazy to me because this is a huge rivalry. It's a big game and everything. You're like, yeah, it's a big game, but to Michigan, this is the game. This is the only game that fucking matters. And as Ohio State,
it's all right, we just go whoop that ass again this year.
Whoop your ass again. You're our end of the year ass whooping that we lay on people before we go and get ready for the bowl games and the playoffs and shit. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of a little brother always trying to pick a fight and win against his big brother, and the big brother's always holding him by his forehead, and the little brother's just swinging,
putting everything he's got into that swing, and just coming up short every time. Every single time.
Michigan hires their coaches. They you think you could be Ohio State? That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. And
that's all that matters.
Jim Harbaugh has yet to do that.
Yeah, yet to do that in all these years. And speaking of Ohio State, talk about these power rankings going into the playoffs here soon. Ohio State jumped up to number 2 above Alabama.
Hell yeah.
Georgia's number 1, Ohio State's 2, Bama 3, Cincinnati 4, Michigan 5, Notre Dame 6, Oklahoma State 7, Baylor 8, Ole Miss 9, and Oklahoma's 10.
Now, if Michigan's
at 5,
if they beat Ohio State, man, they're going to be solidified into the playoffs there. So, winner of that game, it is bigger this year than normally, but winner of that game will be in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, like you're saying, it's a big game, but history isn't really on Michigan's side.
It's really not.
At all. But that's all the news I have as far as college football and stuff. But we can roll right into our NBA news and NBA hot and nots week. What do you got here, Vern?
All right, so for the NBA hot and not list, we got one of the hottest teams in the NBA in recent memory here. Phoenix has been tearing it up, bro. 10-0 over their last 10. They're on a 13-game winning streak right now. So
crazy.
They're crazy.
Still only two in that conference.
Exactly. They're killing it, So congrats to Phoenix on the run that they're having right now. Then I have Atlanta, who's on a 5-game winning streak. They're 5-5 over the last 10 there, but they're rolling right now. Minnesota found their way on this list on a 5-game winning streak, also 5-5 over the last 10. And then I had
try to get up out of that hole.
Yep, exactly. And then I have Milwaukee here, on a 4-game winning streak. They're 6-4 over the last 10, and then I couldn't not put Golden State over on here, even though they're only on a 4-game winning streak. They're 9-1 over the last 10, so they're still as hot as ever right now. I think they only have 2 losses on the season.
2 losses, 15-2, and the Phoenix are 14-3. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. So even Phoenix with this run that they're having still don't have as good of a record as Golden State. But on to my not list. Every fucking week, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's raining out. It don't matter if it's fucking December. It don't matter if it's March. Houston is on this list every single fucking week. Permanently. 15-game losing streak right now, okay? Haven't won a game in the last 10, obviously. So 0-10 over the last 10. 15-game losing streak. I'm just going to keep putting them on this list. Keep giving me a reason to talk about you, Houston. Keep giving me fucking reason. And then San Antonio on a 5-game losing streak. They're 2-8 over the last 10. They're kind of sliding, Sacramento, 4-game losing streak, 2-8 over the last 10. Cleveland starting to fall from grace here. I know they got some injuries, but they're falling down. 4-game losing streak.
They went from like the 4 seed all the way down to the 10th seed now.
5-5 over the last 10 there. And then the last one, Denver's kind of going through a cold streak right now where they're on a 4-game losing streak. So they got to right ship as well. But that's all I had here.
Okay. We can roll it. I have some other news. Not too much news as far as NBA, but I got some stuff here. I don't know if you saw this. Amon Shumpert is the first former NBA player to win Dancing with the Stars.
I saw his performances, man. He was actually pretty fucking
out here
amazing.
Dancing his ass off.
He's killing it every single time. I saw like a little compilation of all of them, and I was like, damn, he's actually killing it out here. He's looking serious as shit too. So congratulations to Amon Shumpert. Yeah,
for real. Jordan Poole is only one. There's only one other Warriors player in franchise history has ever scored 33 off of 10 and 13 and 8 and 11 3-pointers. And it was a career high for Jordan Poole. And that's Kevin Durant for the Warriors.
Damn. Even Curry hasn't done.
33 points. He was on 13 shots, 10 and 13. He had 11 3-pointers.
Damn.
But yeah, Kevin Durant did that. In other news, the Kings have fired Luke Walton as head coach already.
Good riddance.
Not even that far into the season. Said you're gone.
Good riddance, man. It didn't work out in Los Angeles. Didn't work out anywhere else. Sorry. Get out of here.
Had such promise at one point. I felt like he was a sought after coach.
Right. I thought so.
And LeBron James out here playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots. In the middle of games.
LeBron fucking didn't do that shit on purpose. Okay.
I know.
He didn't do it on purpose, and apparently he tried to apologize to Bull, and he was just having none of it. You know what I mean?
Nah, this dude out here looking like Adrian Peterson back in 2012, just running through dudes, Marshawn Lynch rushing through guys, trying to get to him.
Leaking blood,
from his face.
LeBron James up. He wanted LeBron James's blood. That's what he wanted.
It's just so funny because it started in the video. You could see it starts with him and LeBron are pushing, and everybody comes in, and then by the end of it, that dude Isaiah Stewart is in the middle of it with everybody, and LeBron James is on the outside just watching.
Standing there,
where LeBron just kind of snuck his way out of the mob and backed his way out.
Oh shit! Russ
and
is
you saw
trying
that
to fight.
picture of Russ just with his dukes up.
Trying to fucking fight no matter what. Russ is gonna have anybody's back.
He had a tech from that for some reason. He was just standing there, but yeah, that was crazy. But LeBron got suspended 1 game. Isaiah Stewart got suspended 2. This is the second time that LeBron's. I don't think has he ever been suspended before. I don't think so.
He's ever been suspended.
It's the second time he's ever been ejected.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's not normal for LeBron. I don't think anybody thought it was intentional, really.
He suspended his ass. That shit's so crazy to me, man. This dude,
right? I didn't think anybody expected him to be suspended.
He didn't even do yeah, he fucked him up. He definitely did fuck him up. But the reaction, neither of them needed to be suspended here. It didn't need to be this. But here we are.
Yeah, you could have just fined them both if you wanted to. No one had to be suspended.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
But other news, Klay Thompson has been cleared to be a full participant at Warriors practice, on track to make his return about a week before Christmas.
Yep. Bad news for the rest of the NBA.
Yeah, at this point, it's just getting in conditioning, getting back up to game speed and everything as of right now.
And then gearing up for a championship run, man. Them Warriors are gonna be
Yeah,
so good a couple months
they
here.
only have 2 losses on the season,
Without
and
him.
Clay's coming back. Yeah, and Clay's coming back. They could beat their damn record, which they already beat before in the season with AD. But talk about the Suns. They won 11 straight. The team's longest streak since 2006, 2007.
13
and they
straight
outscored
now.
teams by 48. Yeah, and they outscored teams by 48 points in the fourth quarter during that streak, which is outrageous.
They're killing it right now, man. They're going to be in a great position by the end of the year. I'm assuming so. I know it's early, but they're a team to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, man, the Warriors are going to be so strong.
Mm-hmm.
Cavaliers guard Colin Sexton is going to miss the remainder of the season after undergoing surgery on his left meniscus tear. Not good.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's another. It seems like the Cavaliers are just racking up injuries at this point. Chris Middleton passes Ray Allen for the most 3-pointers made in Bucks franchise history. Both players entered the night with 1,051.
Cool. That's cool to see. I know Ray Allen, like, when you think about him nowadays, you think about him on the Heat, but he had a pretty good career on Milwaukee as well. So it sucks to see his name come down a little bit there, but Chris Middleton is a great player.
Yeah, and this is kind of an extra crazy sports stat for you. Games with 9+ 3-pointers in the regular season. J.R. Smith 5, Klay Thompson 7, Damian Lillard 9, James Harden 9, Steph Curry 37. 37 games with 9 or more 3-pointers in a game. 37.
That's ridiculous. That's like some Wilt Chamberlain shit, like as far as the gap is between the records. Like, oh my god. And
9 to 37.
He's gonna add to that shit, man. He might have a couple of them this year.
Exactly. You know it's gonna happen even there. He's gonna get up to 40 within maybe the rest. I can think he definitely get 3 more this season, probably.
Absolutely.
He can get up to 40.
Absolutely.
But no one's even coming close.
Shit, man.
Right? But that's all I have as far as NBA news this week. We can roll right into our bias bubbles here, Vern. What do you got? I know the Lakers had some big news.
Yeah, I mean, all I had really about the Lakers was the LeBron fight there. That shit was crazy. If you didn't see it, go check it out. It wasn't really a LeBron fight. It was more of like LeBron punching this dude in the face as he was like trying to box him out, and then this dude leaking blood and trying to kill LeBron. Trying to just fucking... trying to kill him. But we just talked about it there where they both got suspended. The Lakers actually saved $500,000 in luxury cap space with LeBron being suspended for 1 game. So I don't know how that works out, but I saw that and I was like, that's pretty good. It helps us out, helps us out a little bit. And then the crypto.com arena. Okay,
that's the thing. That's what I had on here.
No more.
It's now crypto.com arena.
No more illustrious Staples Center. It's crypto.com arena, which is weird. I wish it was just crypto arena or something like that, but it's gonna be really weird to see. But the Lakers have a new home. Same building, but it's a different name, and that's 20-year naming rights I saw for like $700 million or something like that, man.
Yeah, and it's weird because the Staples had a lifetime agreement for the naming rights for that center. Apparently, it stems from just the Staples as a brand, and their stores are just fucking going through it.
Yeah.
Stores are closing for Staples. And at this point where they just needed the money, so they got rid of the name and right. They sold the name and rights or whatever to it.
Exactly.
So they just needed the dough to get out. They're struggling as a company. They needed to get out. So I mean, crypto is the hot thing now, I guess. So crypto.com arena. It doesn't have a smooth name to it, like the Staples Center.
But hey, now we got a new home, man. Crypto.com arena. That's what it's gonna be. That's where the Lakers are gonna be hanging banners from now on.
Interesting.
But as far as that's all I had for the Lakers. And then my Patriots, 7-4. Let's go. We rolling, baby. We rolling right to the playoffs. This is what I like to see. Beginning of the year, skeptical. 4 weeks into the season, I was panicking, okay? And now we're sitting pretty. 5-game winning streak, okay? Looking great. And I know we talked about it many times this episode even, about the tough stretch that we have coming up here, the tough 4-game stretch. but this is where I'm going to really find out what Patriots team this is. How is Mac Jones' leadership? Is he going to be able to get this team through this tough 4-game stretch here? I can't wait to see it, man. I'm excited. But that we talked about this as well. The Patriots and the Colts game is set for December 18th, which is a Saturday. It's going to be the nightcap there, which I'm very happy and excited to watch. And then we have a Thanksgiving tradition that I wanted to talk about here. It is the butt fumble, the illustrious butt fumble from Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, the anniversary of that was a couple days ago here.
Yep, exactly. It happened a couple weeks ago. Like I said, we have the anniversary, which I like to bring up on Thanksgiving. So it just always pops up on my timelines around this time of year. It makes me very happy to watch it every year. So congratulations.
Happy Thanksgiving, Mark Sanchez.
Happy Thanksgiving to Mark Sanchez. Thank you for giving the world the butt fumble. That's all I have for the Patriots here this week.
Forever live in infamy.
Exactly.
In the NFL. As far as Bulls, only Bulls players in the last 30 years with back-to-back games of 35-plus points and 65% field goal or better: Michael Jordan, DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, man. If anybody, DeMar is the shit.
DeMar DeRozan. And not only that, another interesting thing, DeMar's been balling so hard. He passed Michael Jordan for the Chicago Bulls for the most points in the first 16 games with the team.
Damn.
So he passed Michael Jordan. He had 425 points. Michael Jordan had 424 in his first 16 games with the Bulls.
And that was young Mike.
Young Mike, 1984 to 85.
Damn.
And DeRozan passed it at this. I mean, that was young Mike. And DeRozan, he's no young Bull anymore.
Right. Exactly.
He's out here still doing it. So I thought that was really cool here. Next thing I have, as far as Bulls, they're looking good. We kind of slid after this game against the Pacers last night. We missed Vooch, who's going to be coming back here soon, and also Caruso. He missed a game, and he's a huge part of our defense. So missing him sucked. And I mean, the Pacers, they play a lot of big ball. We didn't have any bigs, and we just got dominated on the boards and everything. It did not look good at all. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan both have 10-plus 25-point games in the season. And it was only the Bulls' 16th game when that happened. They're the fastest duo to hit 10, 25-point games in each since Elgin Baylor and Jerry West in 1962 and 63.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
So as a duo, DeMar and Zach have been hooping. And even Zach has that fucked up thumb on his non-shooting hand that he's been playing with still.
Right. And they're still putting up the numbers that they're putting up there. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, they're tied with the Nets right now. I think they're tied for the second and third there in the East. So, I mean, they're still balling right now.
Yeah.
And this was a crazy stat as well. I was surprised. The Chicago Bulls beat the Denver Nuggets the other night in Denver. And it was the first time they beat the Denver Nuggets since 2016. Okay? That's the first time we beat the Denver Nuggets since 2016. This is the first time we won in Denver since 2006.
Holy shit, bro.
How fucking crazy is that?
Oh, my God.
Even through the Derrick Rose era, the Jimmy Butler era, and all this is the first time we've won in Denver since 2006. That is outrageous.
In Denver. But now, with this team, you finally got it taken care of.
I don't know if it's the altitude or what. But it was not to look good for the Bulls for a while.
Oh, my God.
Moving on to them Bulls, I got a lot of stats here, and most of them are Russian. And I'm not talking about, a Russian person. I'm talking about Russian yards. Most rushing yards among second-year players, Jonathan Taylor with 1,100, Jalen Hurts with 616.
Damn.
Yeah. Second-year players.
Is that like
Jalen
ever
Hurts,
or just this season?
It doesn't specify, but I'm guessing I'm guessing this season.
Yeah.
Who knows? Jalen Hurts, 45 rushing first downs, touchdowns is third. Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry are the only other players with more. So Jalen Hurts is out here doing something running backs are doing.
Even more than Lamar.
Yeah, even more than Lamar. This is the first team since 1978 Patriots to rush for 175 yards in 4 straight games without a 100-yard rusher in any of them.
Interesting.
So they've been splitting
team football right there
between Jordan Howard, Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts. They're rushing over 175 yards in 4 straight without a single 100-yard rusher, which is crazy.
Interesting. That's straight game plan, you know?
Exactly. The most rushing touchdowns for QBs in the first 15 NFL starts is 14 for Cam Newton, Jalen Hurts with 11, and he also tied Josh Allen and Cordell Stewart.
Okay.
And Jalen Hurts is now, he's rushed for 50-plus yards in 5 games and the longest streak since Randall Cunningham for the Eagles.
This dude's the real deal, man. I hope he stays healthy.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? Eagles have rushed for over 1,000 yards over the last 5 games, most over a 5-game span for the Eagles in 71 years. Rushed more than ever before at this time.
Oh, my God.
And it's working. And, I mean, we did it against the Saints, who had the top-ranked rush defense in the league, who only allowed 65 yards average going into this.
Got 240-some yards on the ground against them.
Exactly. So I think if we could do it against them, we could do it against anybody in this league.
Yeah.
So just keep it up. As long as you can stay healthy, keep doing that.
Exactly.
Eagles quarterback Darius Slay has now scored 3 touchdowns this season, more than Keenan Allen, Brandon Cooks, George Kittle, Darren Waller, Allen Robinson, and Jarvis Landry. And he's the first Eagles defensive player with 3 touchdowns in a season since Eric Allen in 1993. So we're just racking up like accomplishments for some of these players. Jalen Hurts, third QB over the last 20 seasons to score 2 rush touchdowns in the first quarter of a game, joining Russell Wilson and Dante Culpepper.
Damn.
Who also did it against the Saints, which is interesting. And the last couple things I have here, contract stuff. We've been signing a bunch of our guys here this week. TJ Edwards, balling for us. He's kind of our kind of dominant in the rough linebacker who's been getting a lot of playing time. We signed him to another deal, 1 year, 3.2 mil, but it's all pretty much guaranteed. But it's nice to have him back another year. Avonte Maddox reached a 3-year agreement. He's having a career year right now. He's balling right now. 3-year, 22 mil year deal. Extension includes 13 mil guaranteed. And his roommate, his housemate, Dallas Goedert, got re-upped as well. 4-year deal, 59 mil extension.
He got a
35
nice
mil
fucking
guaranteed. Deal. He got paid. He's still not up. He's not getting paid as much as Kittle, Mark Andrews, and who else? Kelsey. I think he's like 4th ranked, but he's up there among the top now. He's not the highest paid, but he's up there.
It's well deserved.
But especially with them trading Zach Ertz, it was bound to happen, and I'm glad we got him locked down because he's nice. He's been showing up here the past couple weeks.
Right. It's good to just get more expensive as you go.
Exactly, and this is a nice little piece of information here. I was surprised to learn. Apparently, Jalen Hurts is pretty good buddies with the Manning family, and Peyton Manning, he's been in contact with this whole season. Apparently, Jalen Hurts says he's maintained a relationship with Peyton Manning since going to Manning QB camp in high school, and apparently Manning sends him cut-ups at pretty much every week and illustrates important details of playing the position and kind of helping him guide him through his career.
Yeah.
So Peyton Manning instructing Jalen Hurts on kind of what to look for. That's the perfect dude you need to know, learn from, because he's one of the top dudes reading defenses. And I think we've seen that the past couple weeks here with Jalen Hurts. We've been seeing him read defenses. He's been a hell of a lot more comfortable staying in the pocket instead of just running whenever he doesn't see his first read. He's been sitting there in a pocket because the O-line has been dominating, man. The O-line has been giving him so much time right now, which is helping out the run game as well. So, I mean, I think everything as of right now is clicking as far as offense, defense, O-line, D-line, everything clicking at the right time at the easiest fucking portion of our schedule. We got the Giants, the Jets, bye week, Washington no names, the Giants again, Dallas, who might be resting their players at that point. Or, who knows, that last game against Dallas could mean the division.
It
who
might
knows?
be real important by that point.
Might be real important. Dallas might be shaking in their boots a little bit, depending on how these next couple, because Dallas got a couple tough games coming up for them here.
Right.
So it could be close, and even if the Eagles don't win the division, they're well in that wild card playoff hunt right now. So, and they have the tiebreaker over the Panthers, the Saints, and Atlanta. So it's looking good as of right now. The only one we're really worried about is like Minnesota and those kind of teams. But as far as right now, I'm more worried about getting that wild card, and winning the division. Even though we're 2 games out, if the Raiders beat Dallas, we're 1 game out from the division, which
with lots of season left.
Lots of season left, and our schedule is looking a lot more favorable than theirs. Even though we do have some divisional matchups, I'm more worried about Washington than the Giants as of right now.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we can get 1 win against Washington. I feel like they're going to end up getting 1 against us, maybe, but who knows? If we're playing strong football, who knows?
Yeah.
But that's all I have here as far as this week. I just thought that was interesting about Peyton Manning talking to Jalen Hurts here. Old Peyton Manning. Which leads us to our crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. We're going to talk about baseball again here this week. We talked about baseball last week. Talk about baseball again this week. Barry Bonds in 2004 reached base more times than he had at-bats, which is crazy.
The hell? How?
He had 617 plate appearances, 129 hits on 373 at-bats with 232 walks. He also got hit by 9 pitches and reached base on errors 6 times for 376 times on base, which is crazy.
Holy shit. So he ended up being so good that the extra shit had him over, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
so,
God.
The first thing on that stat was like, yeah, he took steroids. But despite that, Barry Bonds gave us a crazy stat. But yeah, man, Barry Bonds, it just proves how crazy he is. And I mean, everybody's going to have their position about whether, steroids should be allowed in baseball. At this point, I say, fuck it. Like,
hit home runs,
let them do it. Hit home runs. It's going to make the game a hell of a lot more interesting. And that's the complaint the past 10 years or so, that every offseason, it's like, baseball's boring. How can we, shorten it a little bit, get people more interested? Let people juice, baby. Let people crack some fucking home runs.
See some fucking home runs flying out of the stadium, man.
Exactly. That's what the people want. They want some excitement. People want to be catching home runs and foul balls and stuff. Let them do it.
In the
Screw
parking
it.
lot.
Let them have at it, man. But that's crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. Barry Bonds is one of those dudes Wilt Chamberlain. These dudes that have just countless crazy stats.
Yeah.
You can come back to.
Right.
But that's the podcast for the week here. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to go check out all of our other content on YouTube. Definitely subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 here, hopefully. 100, and then go from there.
Closer.
Exactly. Closer and closer. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at SquadPod Sports. We're trying to get 1,000 by the end of the year. Getting closer here. But we need everyone's support. We got to come together.
Please, just get us that for Christmas. All we want for Christmas is a sub.
All we want for Christmas is more subs and followers. And that's all. I don't think it's too much to ask. But even if you're watching, even if you don't, we really appreciate you supporting us here. And that's really what it's all about.
Right.
But thank you for watching, and we'll see everybody next week.
Peace.